Hello and welcome to this live online session with myself, Mark Arkwright, and we're going to be looking at adding annotations to anything. That is pretty much picking up a pen and writing on something, on anything. Brilliant. So at the moment I'm doing this within Lumio. So if you are working with a Lumio, it's very much pick up that pen and start writing within it. And of course, if you do want to change any of the colours, there, you can do those, and you'll be good to go within Lumio. Staying within a web browser itself, if I want to write on that, surprise, surprise, I'll pick up the pen and start annotating on it. And it remembers on each one of those tabs as well. So if I'm working on separate tabs, I can do that. And my pen will be the pen, my palm will be the erase as well. And if I've got multiple pens upon the front of the board, they will do multiple things as well. If you've got MX where the pens look the same, then the pens will do the same. If the pens look different, the pens will do different as well. And that's the pens and your palm to erase as well. And that is straight from within a web browser, and that was in Lumio as well. So if I minimize this and actually have nothing on the desktop, the same applies. I pick up that pen and a little kind of sticky note. My finger will be the finger, the pen will be the pen from that as well. Of course, if I open up Smart Notebook, yes, I've got an absolute wealth of tools to be able to do more than just annotating. But whatever content I've got in here, either that's going file imports, bringing in a PowerPoint, whether that's bringing in new content, copying and pasting it from a search engine like Google or something, or of course, if you're just using the gallery and bringing line paper or anything like that as well, whatever it is, that pen will be the pen, your finger will be, if I click on the object, your finger will be the finger, and your palm will be the erase for that as well. Or if you've got this one here, you've got a small rubber on the back of that, that's on these pens, on the 7000 or on the 6000S for that as well. So that annotation really does happen over the top of anything. And so far I've just kind of shown you on the browser through the smart software, and of course here on the smart software, Smart Notebook as well. If you want to use Smart Notebook, it is a free download. Just go to smarttech.com and you'll find the links within there as well. But how can I use it on a wider range of programs? And that is the same thing, annotate over the top of anything. So I'm going to show you it working, and then I'm going to look into actually some of the settings and more of that troubleshooting bits and pieces for that as well. So if I just, first of all, open up a PowerPoint lesson. Now this is a PowerPoint lesson, I'm going to go full screen here, and now I'm going full screen here. You can see that one of the plugins that Smart have got is this plugin here. So what that enables me to do is to pick up that pen and just start annotating on it. As I move on to the next slide, I can annotate on that bit, underline that bit, move back, and you can see those annotations are actually flowing with me. If I want to change this here just to something different, like a highlighter, for example, I probably should have done highlighting. Let's go on to the key information. Maybe I'm highlighting that whole sentence there. I can do that. Or if I've got a different pen here, let's use that as the yellow highlighter and highlighting that one there. So I've got that difference between those. Of course, I can do that at the same time with those pens. If I come out of that now, you can see that those annotations actually stay within the document. And then when I come to save it, I can either save those with the changes or without the changing, save it changes, whichever I want to for that as well. And that is within PowerPoint. The other one that I wanted to look at is when you're annotating within a PDF. So I've got a PDF here. Now you can see it hasn't got a logo on which one it's going to open it up. So if I double tap on it to open it up, it's going to give me an option of what I want to open it up with. Now, the kind of one that most people will use might be that Adobe suite there. If you're doing it within Adobe, your annotations, is that right? Annotations is probably a better one. Your annotations are going to be more of an acetate. That's where I was going. And that is going to be with that one there. So as you move the PDF up and down, the inking is going to stay in the same place, which may not be great if you're trying to do a kind of an exam paper or something like that. So when you download Smart Notebook and the Smart Ink drivers, this one comes with it as well, Smart Ink Document Viewer. So I'm actually going to open up on that one and you'll be able to see why as well. So now I've got this PDF here, I can pinch to zoom in, move wherever I want to within that, and then actually I can annotate within it, moving around these bits actually in there as well. And you can see those actually stay within the document. As I move it up and down, that's there as well. And then when I come to save it, I can save it with the changes or without the changing. So that really is just annotating over the top of anything by picking up that pen and annotating over the top of it, whatever program it will be for that as well. That's how it should work. we're just going to jump into a little bit into settings and bits and pieces. So if yours just works, pick up the pen and everything like that, you're good to go. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra. If yours isn't quite working like that, let's just jump into the settings in this. Of course, if you want to pause this video and have a play with it, make sure it's all worked, you can. So let's just move that one there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on my start menu and go down to my settings. So you can just type in smart settings, or I'm going to scroll all the way down to an S, somewhere down here. Here we go, smart technologies. And within smart technologies, I've got smart settings. It's got little tool things next to it. So click on my smart settings and I've got this one here. These are now my smart settings. This is how it's connected to the board, make sure it's all working. I've got a green tick here. This green tick means that it's all connected and it's all working well because I've got my 2 wires here. I've got one of them is my HDMI and one of them is my USB. So I've got the touch and I've got the sounds and the visual through the HDMI as well. So make sure those are both connected to your desktop laptop. If that's still not working there, it might just be a quick wizard to make sure your board is going the right one. If you're not sure which board it is, have a look online if you can find it. As a quick rule, if you've got 2 kind of grey pens, that's your MX. If you've got 4 pens like this, it's a 7000. And if you've got a red and a black pen, it'll be your 6000S. Excuse me. If you're not sure, email me and we'll check. So those are the bits there and through that connection wizard to make sure it's doing right. If your orientation is not quite right, they're kind of calibrating, you can use that one there. Because this device here is all in the same place, you haven't got a projector, you haven't got a separate board, it's all just in one, you probably will never need to do that. But if it is off for any reason, then do that one there and then you should be good to go for the rest of that one. What we're going to look at is the Smart Ink settings. So I'm going to click on Smart Ink settings. There's also a link down the side here. And that opens up a slightly separate one here. And within this, first of all, we've got turn Smart Ink on as soon as you log in the board. That is a really handy one. So every time you just open up your laptop, turn on your computer, automatically Smart Ink starts. Great. Or you can turn it off or turn it on with that kind of button there as well. The next one we're going to have a look at is this Microsoft Office settings. Again, it's down to your choice. I would say that I find the Smart Ink one to be a lot more fluid when it writes. So I've chosen to use that Smart Ink one at the top here. And then the other one is talking about PowerPoint. When we had PowerPoint in full screen, that was that little grey toolbar at the bottom. And that is this one here, enabling Smart PowerPoint plugin. If you've enabled that, you'll get that one. And then it's your choice of which sort of inking one. Again, there's that one tool there. Have a read through those, make sure it's the right one for you. I would say enable it, the top one and the top one, and you'll be good to go for that one there. Then it will behave like I've just shown you from that kind of previously looking at. So I'm going to exit that. You should now, because we've seen these appear, when we turned on Smart Ink, these will appear up in here. We're going to have another bit more of a look at those in a minute. A shortcut to turn those on and off is down here. You've got a little arrow, and then there's a blue square with a white circle in the middle. Click on that, and I can show Smart Ink toolbar or hide Smart Touch Inking tool. So that's a quick one to go for there as well. Your choice which one you go for. So I've shown these, and then these will appear. That means I can write on anything. If these are not showing up, first of all, just pick up the pen and just start doing it, and they might work then. If not, you might need to go into the settings and make sure they're turned on. Another little point here is I'm just going to go down to the smart hardware settings, just as an extra little one. And within here, I can actually customize my pens. So you can see here, this is my black pen, and how do I want that black pen to be? I can actually change the color of my black pen. But one really nice one is just changing the thickness. So every time I pick up my black pen, it's going to be that thick, thin one there. So for example, you can see my thin one's there, but my red one I haven't changed, and that is slightly thicker. Hopefully you can see it in the video. If you can't, just take my word for it. Or I can change it to a fat one and change different color ones within that as well. So being able to customize those nibs is really handy. And equally, you can customize the ends if you wish, but that's just going to be a raise at the end there. So that is in your hardware settings, in the smart settings for that as well. Ace. just as a kind of final thought then, looking at, I'm just going to do it over a web browser, we have got these toolbars here. As I pick up the red pen, you can see that one's going to be the red, and the finger is going to be for my finger. So if I were to change my finger to be green, I can have my fingers to be green, and then my pen to be red. Don't forget with your finger to change it back to that one, otherwise you'll be trying to do stuff and then this will be writing green over the top. You have then got a few different extra bits and pieces within this. Go and have a bit of a play, see which ones are right for you, see if any ones are going to do it. I'm not going to go into massive detail of those, just say go and have a play. Any other questions, drop in a comment or drop me an email and we'll kind of dive into those if you want to. Some quite nice ones in there, and you can also set up favourites. So these little ones around the sides are classed as my favourites to be add those as well. So hopefully that's been a kind of an overview. That's kind of what does Smart Ink do? How can I annotate it on stuff? As well as kind of jumping into a bit more of the weeds and the kind of troubleshooting side of things as well. Hopefully that's got you up and running, and so you can just go and teach the way you were, but with those extra annotations as well. And if you've got any other questions, discuss it amongst yourselves, see how you can sort of support each other, and of course reach out to me. Any support I can be, I will do for there. So thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that's been useful. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.